Hi, everyone. Welcome to the We Bought a Franchise podcast. We're back live with you here. What? I guess we're not live.
We're live.
We're live right
Live
now,
to us.
but when you listen or watch us, we won't be live. Today, we have an episode that we think you guys are just going to be so excited about. We opened it up this week. For those of you on our email database, we emailed everyone. Ask us your questions. Tell us what you want to know about being Pink's franchise owners. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we are guest-free, and we are here to talk about being Pink's franchise owners.
Yeah, it's just us.
So take it away, Jill.
Well, no, thank you guys for submitting your questions. We really appreciate them. They're really good. I feel like we've got a good amount of varying questions like about the business. We'll go through it, but we appreciate you guys. And it's good to hear, your thoughts on some of the things that we've been trying to kind of convey with you and, make there's a couple things we'll make clear and just some really thoughtful questions. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Again, I think the number one question that always comes up with business owners is, or with potential business owners to us, which is, are you guys making money? Does it actually work? Do people want to have their windows washed? And the answer, and by the way, these were questions that once we bought the franchise, I looked at Jill one night and I was like, do people actually pay for windows to be washed? Because we had never paid for our windows to be washed.
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't.
We had people come pressure wash the windows.
We did lots of pressure washing, but we never had hired specific window washers, right?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Okay, but here's the scoop. People do.
Yeah.
People do.
Well, what I keep saying and why I love this business is everyone has windows. So yes, not everyone wants to get them washed, but everyone has windows, like on your house, on your business. I mean, there's windows everywhere. So when we look at other businesses, it was like, okay, does everyone need a room painted in their house? Like, yeah, some people do, some people don't. It changes year to year, but we always have windows. And one thing I've learned since we started the business is that sometimes people don't realize they need their windows washed until they get their windows washed. And then they're like, oh my God, I can see out my window. And then it kind of becomes like not an addiction, but something that they want to do more often.
Well, once you're in the business and you go to restaurants and things like that and you see dirty windows, you're like, dude.
Oh, we notice all.
Or you see business owners out there with their Windex spraying windows. So the answer is yes, we make money. In fact, I think it's more than I thought in a first. We've been open since March. Here we are, end of July. Our average job is near about $400. And yeah, we do. It's pretty steady. And the most exciting thing is that we've sort of built up a base, right? Because it's a recurring business. It's not like, hey, get your windows washed one time. Generally speaking, once you start, and especially for businesses, it can be weekly.
Yeah.
It can be every 2 weeks. It can be quarterly. It can be, we have people that kind of use us for all of the above. And what's interesting is that, there's typically room in the day for us to do at least 3 jobs, sometimes 4, depending on it. So yeah, everything that we thought that Pink's would be, in terms of making money and scaling and that sort of thing. And by the way, we just have our contract for our second van. We're about to hit the order button on that. We've been really pleased with that.
It was that easy, just to order. But anyway, yeah, no, it's been very interesting to see. It's like opened up a whole new world for us.
Yeah.
And then there's property managers that have multiple houses that they take care of, and they're like more than happy to work with someone like us and to say, listen, we have like 10 houses, 15 houses, 30 houses. Can you guys just get on the schedule and wash them? And for them, it's a relief because they're not having to chase after someone. And then for us, it's great because it's recurring revenue. It's on the books. It's a big job.
Model houses have to look perfect.
Right.
So you get that kind of a gig with a new development, and we're in there, feels like every week, but I think it's every other week where we're cleaning the 11 model homes. And then we just landed another community through that particular client. So yeah, I've been really excited. Florida comes with its own set of, South Florida comes with its own set of challenges. Yeah. We found out that a lot of people are snowbirds down here, and they go up north for the summer. And so we have noticed that, July is not as crazy as May was. But on the other side, that's why we're ordering that second truck, because the feeling is that September will be like dramatic, like upswing. So, yeah, I mean, I think we've been really excited about that.
Well, it's interesting to see, like, most businesses have a seasonality, and like in my head growing up like on the West Coast,
right,
it's the winter that's bad, right? That's like where it's like rainy and cold and snowing, whatever.
Yep.
And that's usually going to be your worst time, but like in Florida it's different.
It's the opposite.
Is like, it's the summer is the time where no one's here and it's hot and we have all these rainstorms. So it's just that we do have seasonality. We just don't think of it that way. But again, for me and for us and for this business, it's just recognizing that. So as we move into years 2 and 3, we know that the summer tends to be slower. So what kinds of things can we prepare for? And also just put it in the books.
Just keep hammering commercial business. I mean, I think this is how you know you're meant to be an entrepreneur or not. People who shouldn't be entrepreneurs will sit there and say, well, I live in the East Coast. There's no one's going to wash their windows. That's not true. People are going to wash their windows. They absolutely have to wash their windows and they have to get pressure washing. But if you are that kind of personality, that's totally okay. But you might be better investing in stocks and real estate. I think to be a business owner, you have to see the business and say, I can take that. I can be successful. I understand that there will be months where it's less business than others. I mean, any business we've ever been in, when I was in the non-medical home senior care space, summer was always slower because people are healthier. Whereas right around Christmas time, you saw business just explode. Yeah. So, again, it's, I think business is business. The answer to all of it is having urgency, paying attention to your numbers, having urgency to grow and leading your team. That's another thing, you guys. If you want to be a franchise owner, you're signing up to be a leader. And you have to learn how to work with your team and mentor them and help grow. And also understand that as you're growing, you may not have 40-hour weeks on the books right away. So how do you keep your team dialed in and loyal to you as you grow? And that's something that Resi Brands can help with. Another thing, and this leads into another question that people that we got asked was, how good is the Resi Brands marketing? Does it actually work? The answer is absolutely yes. We have, in fact, I was just talking to another Pink's franchise owner about this. He just got going and he was asking about Google ads and how, we track it and that type of thing. And I said, you'll see it on the CRM that Resi uses. You'll see your jobs at the call center books. You'll see it tagged Google. You'll see it tagged Facebook. And actually in the CRM, you can see the revenue that attributes to those lead sources. So yes, absolutely. Resi will put business, you pay, right? You pay them to run your Google and your Facebook.
That's why I'm paying them, but they do a great job of it. What I love about Pink specifically is, and Resi, is that they take care of some of that, but you can also do what you need to do, on a local basis or something like that. So it's like you get that kind of mix, but theirs is pretty consistent and steady. And they're very receptive. They're receptive to us. If we have questions or changes, or we need them to make something for us or design something or improve something, they're pretty good about it. So,
well, we signed up for Thumbtack, right? And that's actually what got us the property manager job, which now looks like on the books so far for next year is approaching $100,000 worth of business. That came through Thumbtack. I think the answer is to do everything. Yeah. Use Resi for the Google and for the Facebook. They will manage that for you. Well, what happens is that if someone fills out a form on your website, which again, Resi designs for you, then the call center essentially then fields the lead, books the estimate on our calendar, and we can see where the job came from. Whereas if our GM is out in the field and he is, let's say he walks into Chick-fil-A and he does a deal to get, all the Chick-fil-A's, which is what we're working on. Well, then he landed it and then he tags his name as the lead source. So all of this comes back to data. Resi does make so much of it a lot easier because our experience to date is, I think you can probably get about halfway there with the Google and the Facebook marketing that they do. At least that's what we've seen. FTC, we're not trying to make any kind of guarantees or claims. That's just what we've seen as franchise owners. But we know we've got to go hustle the rest. We've got to go find the rest. So yeah, I mean, and when you see the Pink's Facebook ads, I mean, you can't help but smile. Yeah. They're so good.
They're entertaining. It's like, maybe you don't even know you're watching like a window washing company, but it like sticks with you, And I have run into people who like, I've seen your ads, which is so funny because with our other business, we've run ads and
No, nobody cares.
But it's entertaining, and so it catches their eye, and then they see it a couple times, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I probably should call them," or at least they like refer us to someone else. So they do a really good job.
I mean, yeah, I think the answer is to do everything as much as possible. As a matter of fact, there's another franchise owner down in Fort Lauderdale who's just coming on board. And the way she became an owner is she ran into our GM and our lead tech in the grocery store. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're the Pinks guys." So no, it's a whole thing. I mean, that's where you're really proud to be a Pinks franchise owner. I'll say, and this is kind of just something, when I look at all the owners on our weekly calls, they're wearing the Pinks hats. One of them has like his office has like the Pinks blue, pink, white colors. People that are Pinks franchise owners like us, they love the brand. Like if you see Jill and I out on the weekend, we're wearing our Pinks hats. Like we love the brand. And I think
I started buying so many pink things. Like it's like become like a part of me now.
It's your brand.
But yeah, no, but it's a brand you're excited to wear and you're excited to talk about. And people have a lot of questions because you just kind of see it everywhere. So, but yes, Jack's right. The franchise owners typically are very excited. They're pumped, they're representing the brand. They're doing everything that they can. You just don't see that with a lot of like franchises.
No, I mean, we have a shop. Yeah. We have merch. Yeah. We were featured on Hitman. The guy on the Netflix show, the movie, he was wearing the Pinks gear. Yeah. It's a whole vibe.
Like multiple country music singers in Austin are wearing the hats during performances.
Cody Sanchez wears the hat. Well, she's essentially an owner now too. Hey, we're fellow owners with Cody Sanchez. We're like partners. Little did she know that Jack and Jill came with the.
We're like all best friends now. No, anyway, but again, it's exciting. It's an exciting brand. People are excited to wear them. That's one of the things that drew us to it.
Yeah. Okay. Here was the next question, which is. I just read it. I've got like my list here. So the next question is, how do you get like the van? Where does that come from? Well, there again is the cool thing about working with a franchise like Resi is that there are some people out there that want to source everything themselves and get the best deal and find like a used van and do it themselves. And hey, I saved $2,000. If you're that kind of person, you're probably not a Resi franchise owner. We don't care about that. We want an all-in-one shop because we are multi-business owners. And frankly, I don't have time because my main job is helping everyone like you find the right franchise. So what we love about Resi is they do it all. They source the van. You order through their partner. It's done. It comes wrapped. It shows up to your house. It's done.
It's all done. And then you buy the supplies, but they give you the list of supplies. They just make it so easy for you. So it looks like it's a complicated job, but they do most of the work, to be honest.
Yeah, and the same is true for vendors like insurance. Yeah. They have a partner, very well-established franchise partner in that regard. So for your workman's comp, your general liability, your auto insurance, they will take care of you. So again, when you own through Resi brands, and let's be fair, Resi isn't the only one. There's other groups like Horsepower Brands or Rhino 7, where you can work within their framework, Phoenix Brands with Rhino 7, and they have all the stuff for you. Yeah. So if that's what you want, if you want kind of, hey, I want everything really dialed up on a silver plate for me to kind of just go to work with, that's what a franchise in my mind should be. It should be a business in a box. Everything that you need.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's why, yes, you could go start your own window washing company. Absolutely could. Go buy the squeegees and the thing and make your own van, but you've got to do all that yourself. And so if you're looking for something that gives you that blueprint and the back end systems and how to do everything and where to order and it's a click of a button, that's your thing, you know? So again, it's not necessarily for everybody, but it is something that really helps you. It's helped us tremendously because I know one of the questions too was talking about the hours, which we'll talk about. But if you don't want to spend 12 hours a day trying to find a used van and then find someone to wrap it and then figure out how you're going to, set all your supplies and everything in it, you can do it in a matter of 1 hour.
Right.
Just following the directions that they give you. So again, franchise in a box. This is why people go the franchise route.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want. You want all of it. You want everything to come in a box.
Yeah.
At least we did. Yeah. Some of you may not, but if you want a franchise, that's what you want.
Exactly.
So, again, that Resi delivers on that 1,000,000%. We're thrilled about that. So, all right, just kind of keeping track. We've covered, does the business actually make money? Yes. Does Resi actually help you with putting appointments on the calendar, and does their advertising work? Yes. Do they have a CRM system where we can kind of track our leads, watch our cash flow, watch our calendar, get notifications on the phone? This is sort of answering another question. Yes. Like, Jill, would you say we're getting blown up? We can see like what our GM, his correspondence with clients, we can see it, right? So we're sitting there last week at Disney World having dinner, and here it is 7:00. Our GM's having a conversation with a client. Hey, just want to make sure you're going to be there. What time are you going to be here? You need anything from me? We can see all of it. And if any case there was something wrong or our GM was sick, we can jump in and we can talk it.
So again, as little or as much as you want to participate. So if you want to watch that thing around the clock and be part of it, great. But if not, it can handle itself and you can check in when you need to. It's really good. I mean, they've done such a good job with that you can put in as little or as much as you want to for that.
So another question that came in, it said, someone said, what just general advice do you have when you're growing a franchise? Where should my mind be? Because, I think when you're growing a business, especially in the first, like we started in March, we're in month 5. We've had weeks where we build as much as 12 grand, and we've had weeks where we build as little as 1,000. It can be a little bit of a roller coaster. And
it is.
You need to make sure that you're up for that, because you need to be steady. What we've found is that in business ownership, your bad days are generally followed by good ones, but you really need to keep a positive mindset. And I know everyone's heard this a million times, be positive, yada, yada, but it is true. If you're going to do this, you need to have an end goal in mind. It can't just be, hey, wouldn't it be fun to own a business? And now let's go get Look, we all have different things. There are other Pinks owners that are achieving profitability faster than us, but we're running our business in a different way. We're heavier on the staffing. We're running it sort of semi-absentee, whereas owner operators can get to profitability faster. So there's people with different goals. Some people want to get profitable ASAP. Jill and I, we're more focused on here's where we want to be in year 5. So we'll do what it takes to get there, and we'll understand that there'll be some growing pains. So just again, for those of you considering getting into business ownership, have patience, have a positive attitude with your team. Negativity does not help grow a business. Negativity kills a business.
You've got to limit your expectations. Anytime we talk to any one of you about buying a franchise, we're very honest. Your first 18 months are going to be hard. Just keep that in mind. Of course you want to do better. And we personally always like to.
Sure.
We aim high. So sometimes, when we're in the first 18 months, we're like, hey, we should be doing better, but that's the reality. So
right.
You want to have aspirations, but you also have to be realistic. And that is the most important thing. Just knowing that. And we tell you guys that when you're talking to us about, buying a franchise, whether it's Pinks or anything else, you can't have the expectations that you're going to be profitable immediately. There's going to be a lot of work to put in. There's going to be the ups and the downs and the slumps and all of that. And that's normal. It's totally normal. If you've watched any of our other podcasts where we've brought on other franchise owners, they'll tell you the same thing. So that is a one consistent thing that we can really push on you guys and say that it's not going to be easy. Don't expect to be profitable. Limit your expectations. But of course, do what you can to do it. And if you could surprise yourself, then
but it's an investment. And I think if you go in saying, hey, the average Pinks territory shows 800 grand in gross, and if I could net 20%, that's great. Okay. So now you say, all right, for entrepreneurship to be worth it to me, I'd really like in 5 years to be netting 500,000 a year and have a business that I could sell for $1.5 million. Terrific. Go get 3 territories. And remember that as you're growing, is that you have control of it. You're going to have so much more freedom. You don't have a bad boss to answer to, because guess what? You answer to yourself now. So that's why it's worth it. That's why people say, I will go through those first few months. And by the way, if those of you out there, you've been working in corporate America a long time, you've got a 401k you can roll over. You're not affecting your life. You're investing in something. And when you can do entrepreneurship right, like we're going to be, Jill and I and Trey will be traveling for the next 3 weeks, and our businesses will run. They will collect revenue. You can't do that on a job. You can do that with businesses. So the reason we say just have patience during the first few months, because those that can master that are the ones that build the really valuable assets. So just remember, it's important to have patience as you grow a business. And so leading into that, the next question I got was, when you say that you work an hour or two a day in the franchise, what are you doing? Well, let's talk about what we did today. So today, I interviewed a potential salesperson. Today, I strategized with our GM. One thing we talked about was it probably makes more sense for him to be going to Rotary Club and Chamber of Commerce meetings than me, because people like love him. It's a perfect sort of scene for him.
Yeah.
So it was strategizing. It was giving him a PDF marketing piece to go to all of our clients who we've given estimates to over the past month who haven't yet booked services. Hey, we're running a special on services. So it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of, sort of just working with the team to, of course, what's our number one thing when we own a business? Drive sales. So I probably have spent an hour on the business today. What about you?
Besides tying off with you on what's happened, and we're unique because we live together, we work together.
Right.
So some of the hours that we're working are combined, but like today, what I'll do is we're receiving some promo items for the guys, so I'll make sure that I get those ready for them and get some shirts ready. So, again, that's probably going to be an hour of my time.
Right.
But again, combined, that's 2, and the day isn't over. There may be a fire we have to put out, or this might be it for the day. So it like varies every day. Some days are like totally quiet and we don't have to do anything. There's other days where we may have to do more. Like yesterday, you did another interview.
Always be hiring, by the way. Always be hiring.
Yeah, and that's actually a big thing. Is we've talked about this many times. Keep job listings up, because you never know who you're going to get. And sometimes you may meet someone that's not ready for a few months. Sometimes you have to replace someone within a day because someone quits on the job or doesn't show up for work for 2 weeks. So have like a good amount of people, applications that you can kind of keep away, interview, and you may find like a superstar in there. And if you find one, you get them on board. And I think the beauty with Pinks is, it's not a full-time job. You can have full-time hours, but it's not a full-time job. So yes, you could probably bring on 5 or 6 guys and schedule them throughout the week. If you look at like any retail job or a restaurant job or anything like that, not everyone's working full shifts every day. They're working a couple days a week, and that way you can work within people's schedules. You can have a backup for, anything happens.
Sure.
Or in our case, you have a huge job, like this job with the model homes. Those days are really intense. So it could be that maybe we even need to switch out the guys, midday. So always be hiring, keep the job listings out, keep a good like backlog of applications and interviewees. And I mean, it can't hurt, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice. Another question we got was, what does it look like the first 6 months versus the second 6 months? I mean, we're in month 5. What we're anticipating is this. So like I said, we're ordering the second van because we're anticipating with our market based upon, just what we were seeing in May. May, we had our, Pinks has a certain goal for what they want your van to do per week. In May, we were hitting that. Summer, we've slowed down. But again, South Florida is very different. We have a lot of fancy people here who leave for the summer and they come back for school, and then all the snowbirds come back.
People that leave. It's so hot here.
Yeah, but you got to be a fancy person to be able to leave.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's so miserable at some point.
To be gone for weeks, you have to be a fancy person.
Yes, I agree. But I think there's the families that go while school's out, and then there's the true snowbirds. They don't come back until November. So you're going to have like one wave of people coming back and then a second wave. But yeah, we've got to work with it. It's not like
So here's the answer. Right now, we're hustling. We're hustling to get every piece of business we can. And we've got a nice base where the prescribed weekly, again, here's what they'd like you to hit $5,000 a week on your van. We've easily done that and surpassed it. Right now we're in our low season. So, but what's nice is that for most of our weeks here for the next upcoming month, we've already got half of that already on the books because of all the recurring revenue. because people don't just hire you once to wash their window. So we have to go out and get that other half. The anticipation is for our market is that come September, October, November, then it's everyone's back. People are looking. Then we anticipate dealing with just a ton of need. People ramping up for the holidays and parties and things like that. That's our anticipation. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but based upon talking to other similar business owners, that's the thought. That's why we're ordering our second van now, because we want it ready in September. Now, that's part of the fun of being a business owner, guys, is that Resi can give you advice and say, when you hit your $5,000 a week, then go get your second van. Okay, all right. Well, now you trail off a little bit. Do you wait to get back to $5,000? Our issue with that is if we wait and we go into, let's say now we're back into September and we're making $5,000 a week again, and now all of a sudden we need 2 months on the van. Our fear is that we'll miss out on business. So that's why we're getting that van done now. This is bringing you guys into what the real operational stuff is. What are the conversations that we're having? That's what we're doing. And guess what? You're going to get to ride shotgun with us and find out how that all goes. But we're pretty excited about it. Based upon what we're seeing with other Pink's franchise owners. It's all pretty consistent. So we're excited. The last question, Jill, I think is more for you, which is what kind of networking events are you going to and what do you do there?
Yeah. So I think there's some obvious ones, like there's Chamber and there's Rotary and that kind of thing. But you kind of have to know your area and what works. So for instance, in Boca specifically, there are a lot of networking events for realtors. And the beauty of those, there's one that's every Tuesday, there's one that's once a month, is that you get everyone from this like real estate industry. So people go there that have services like ours. They have realtors that go there that talk about their properties. You have property managers. You have all these different people. And even if your particular client or customer is not there, people know people who know people. I feel like that's been huge. But also look outside of that. I actually met 2 or 3 people that I think we're going to get some really big jobs from going to like a women's marketing networking lunch.
I didn't go to that one.
So no, you didn't go to that one. But again, it's just talking to people. It's finding the places where these people are. And again, this business specifically, it's window cleaning and pressure washing. I'm not offering a service that's so unique and so out there that even if the person I'm talking to doesn't need it, they may have a client that needs it, or they might know someone, or they might connect you with a staging company that needs the windows cleaned in these houses or these model homes. I mean, there's so much. Or my friend owns a restaurant and they have 6 different locations that they could use. There are so many opportunities. So you just have to keep talking and finding things. And I think the most important thing, honestly, is find things that you feel comfortable going to. Don't put yourself in a weird position. So I enjoy, I love the lunches. You get lunch. Sometimes you
doesn't love lunch
in the middle of the day, and so I enjoy those. And then you just really get to talk and find out more about people. There's also franchising groups too. And again, that may not be your actual customer, but there are people that are willing to help you out if you help them out.
Well, yeah, it's like you've established a great relationship with the local Gatsby Glass franchise owner. That's another really cool franchise that does like great wine walls and bathrooms. And
even just throwing ideas around together of like things that they're doing. Like we've done a thing where every time we see each other's vans, we post, and it's small things like that when she posts our van, that's a whole network of people that I don't know. And I'm doing the same for her. So that was just like the funniest little thing that we decided to do for each other. And I mean, it's definitely helped. I've also, talked to friends or acquaintances that I know that live in neighborhoods, and I've asked them to post in their Facebook groups, and I can offer them a Starbucks if they'll post it, or they'll just do it just to be nice. And that's been awesome too. I think we've gotten a lot of business from just reaching out to people in other neighborhoods. So establishing connections, doing whatever you can. But again, I think it's really also finding networking groups that you feel comfortable going to.
Yeah.
Because especially in our industry, it really does. I could go anywhere. Everyone knows does.
Yeah, so true.
But yes, I mean, if you're very like home service space, you want to go to things where you're going to be with realtors or, people that are designing homes or anything like that. But just be open. Just talk to everyone. Get to know everyone. Try different things. It never hurts to try. You may go to one and say, this is like not good at all. I've been to those. And then you just move on and you find something else. But there is so much opportunity to talk about your business and what you do. And I know that people are more than happy to kind of pass on that information too. So don't worry if it's not your exact target audience, just that ability to network and, make introductions and meet people can open.
It's cool being a business owner. You're in a sorority, fraternity, you're in a group with other people. Yeah. It's such just an empowering feeling, it really is. And there's a lot of like-minded individuals. Yes. So you make good friends that way too, which is also
and
cool.
And it's good to throw around ideas and, even talk about those slumps. It feels good talking to other people about it. And that's one of the reasons we have this podcast too, is to show you guys like the reality of this.
Yeah. And but there's highs and lows, guys. And so you're not going to, the difference is this. If you want to get to making 7 figures, it ain't going to happen on the job. You got to do it with a business, and you can do it with these cool blue collar businesses like what we own with Pinks. You can do it. You got to put in the work. You got to lead the team. You got to do it, but you can get there. That's the way to go. For 99% of us out there who want to build real wealth, you can't do it on the job. So you've got to do it through owning a business. And that's why we bring you this podcast, is so you can win. We want you to win as business owners. We want to help, guide your mindset. So whether you're thinking about buying a Pinks or you want to call us, by the way, did you know we have a whole other podcast called The Inside Scoop, where we tell you about the franchises that people buy every single week? We've never brought this up on this podcast.
I know. I don't know why. That's actually very important. So we're telling you about our experience, but we help people like you guys find these businesses.
Right.
It doesn't have to be Pinks. We're going to show you so many different options.
So just go to the Franchise Insiders YouTube channel. You can see our Inside Scoop Market Watch podcast. We're about to do that one right now, where we tell people about all the different franchises you can buy. So maybe Pinks is your franchise. Maybe it's not. Go to thefranchiseinsiders.com, select podcast, and you can see our Inside Scoop podcast. We can save you guys thousands of dollars on hundreds of different franchises. And there are tons of other great blue collar businesses just like Pinks. But you know what? Pinks may not be maybe it is, maybe it's not. So make sure you go to thefranchiseinsiders.com. Make sure you select podcast and subscribe, or just go on to anywhere you listen to podcasts. Look for the Inside Scoop. We are in all of them. Inside Scoop Franchise Podcast. But I think for this podcast, we are all out of time. Jill, anything else from you? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all she's got. Well, hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. I'm actually going to be hosting a Pinks franchise owner call here in just about an hour, talking to aspiring Pinks franchise owners. So we love it. We're really happy. We're excited. I mean, look, we've done things with our Pinks business. I mean, considering we're only 5 months in, we've done some pretty darn cool things. We've got a lot of clients on the books, some real top name clients. So yeah, I think, again, just have patience as you grow a business. It's worth it. But for this episode of We Bought a Franchise, I'm Jack.
And I'm Jill.
We'll talk to you next time.